Solar flash update for January 5th, 2025. How star seeds are infecting the 3D matrix. And my physical body is struggling to contain the incredibly powerful 5D energy that is coursing through me as well as through the whole world. Welcome to the Thunder Wizard YouTube channel. This is the official gathering place for all 5D star seeds and light workers. Today I'm going to be going into depth about many of the things that are already happening, showing how 2025 is going to be like nothing we've ever seen in the history of planet Earth. In order to fully comprehend what is going on, we must question our reality and then change it. If you like these videos, please go to thunderwizard.com, check out all of the ways that you can subscribe and get empowered as well as support this channel. My books can be found at michaelwilliamdenny.com. If you want to support me directly, go to support.thunderwizard.com. Follow the instructions there. And if you would like to just right now support the channel, simply click the $sign below. That way you don't have to have that guilt hanging over your head. Did I support Thunder Wizard today or not? I really do appreciate all of the support, and it is absolutely necessary, especially right now. All right, let's get into this solar flash update for January 5th. How star seeds are infecting the 3D matrix. And my physical body is struggling to contain 5D power. So I don't think I've made a solar flash update for a little bit. Feels like it's been a while. But I don't know about you. I don't know what your experience is. But my experience is that it seems on the third dimensional level, things seem to be kind of just plugging along. I mean, we still have a lot of things going on, a lot of crazy things going on, drones and attacks and all kinds of other crazy nonsense. But it sort of feels like things are plugging along. But in the astral realm, the energy is, I mean, I can't even put into words. Maybe I'll make a video just to talk about the things I've been seeing and feeling and the messages that I've been getting. And this shift has not slowed down. Every time I think I've gotten to the point where I'm like, okay, now I've been exposed to everything. I've learned pretty much everything there is to see and know in the 5D realm. As soon as I get to that point, things shift up to a whole other level. I'm right back where I was in terms of, trying to straddle two worlds. And I'm experiencing that right now. The meditation we did last night was absolutely off the charts powerful. I can only speak for me. In case you don't know what I'm talking about, we have the live guided interdimensional meditations that we do every Wednesday and Saturday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. In fact, today I was useless again. I mean, I woke up and I was just like, it's going to be another one of those post-guided meditation days where I'm not going to be able to accomplish anything. And I wasn't able to. It took everything in me to go to just take a walk on the beach in the freezing cold North Florida winter. I don't know if you guys know it, but Florida gets cold, at least North Florida. I grew up in Southern California, and we had 50-degree days, 55-degree days, maybe a handful in the entire winter. The rest of the time would be in the 60s and 70s and sometimes higher than that. So to be living in a place where it's, it gets down to freezing every night, and during the day, we're lucky if we hit 60 degrees. It's like, anyway, I'm done complaining about that. So I'm making the best of that. But I got to tell you, my body was, I'm still, I'm feeling a lot better. It's now evening, so I've gotten some of my strength back, but holy crap, I got so much energy flowing through me last night, and today was again one of those days. Anyway, we're going to get into the shift here. Let's start taking a look at that. So, massive 2025 shifts already happening. Interdimensional 5D meditation energy is exploding. So, in our meditations, I'm being taken to places I haven't been yet. And so if you've been doing the meditations regularly, one of the things that happened is we're going up these portals that go all the way up to the highest dimensional energies. And this isn't something that I had planned out. Like, sometimes I go, hey, I'm going to go check this out. But that wasn't something that I had planned out. It was something that happened spontaneously, and it started happening more and more. And we go up these, like an elevator of, light shaft, and we get taken all the way up to the highest dimensions. And, the energy there is incredibly powerful. And, yesterday I thought I was going to slow things down. Like, the amount of energy that I've been getting is a lot. So I decided I was going to go and gain some energy from Jupiter. Jupiter is the ether energy, which is basically chi energy, very high level chi energy, the level of thunder and lightning. And so I thought I would go and get empowered, and I certainly did. The energy was off the charts powerful. But again, so powerful that at the end of the meditation, I wasn't really able to function all that well. And then today I was just so, just when I thought that I had gained my power and I had expanded to the level where, yeah, I'm out there, nope, more is being revealed and more energy is being given to me. So I can't speak for you guys, but for me, the interdimensional energy is going through the roof. And the messages I'm getting are, well, first I've been told the past few weeks in personal meditation, I've been told your energy is increasing, your energy is expanding. And then, I won't get into the really grandiose, fantastical things they say about me and my power and who I am. But, they're going off like, you're going to gain more power than, and I don't know what your experience is again, but when I'm out there in meditation and we're doing these things, what I'm being told is that the level of energy that we are channeling and the level of energy that we are creating as we do these meditations, and if you've done the meditations, you know that the basic point is to gather energy and to then channel it directly to Earth. And, for the express purpose of bringing the 5D ascension event. And the messages that I've been getting have been that the light beings out there, the gods themselves, are looking at us as we do these meditations, and they're saying, we've never seen anything like this. So they can't really comment on it other than it is so powerful and so transformative that we are creating universes and dimensions that have never been created. And, that would be one thing if we were out there, if we weren't in this physical 3D world and we were out there, being our infinite godly selves, but we're still 3D beings doing this. So it's very hard to integrate this, for me, at least into my reality and into my consciousness. But the level of energy that I'm feeling during the meditations and afterwards gives me, the evidence to believe what I perceive I'm being shown. So if you're having those experiences, they're accurate. And I just want to encourage people, because I know some people are doing these meditations and they're bumping into their own 3D limitations, and it's very challenging. So I strongly encourage people to be self-examining and be willing to drop your attachments. Be willing to drop your 3D addictions. You know, if you've got a chemical addiction, if you've got a, you know, pick your addiction. If you're attached to money, if you're attached to fame, if you still want people to love you and accept you, if you're trying to find a way to get people to like you, and you're, you know, all of that, and you're really struggling with that, I encourage you to take the challenging road of the frightening road of letting go of those things. Letting go of your false humility, your false spirituality. There's a lot of that running around. So I encourage you to do that. And if you would like some help with that, we have the 12 Steps to 5D. Somebody asked about that. They said they wanted a 12-step program for spirituality. And I said, have you checked the playlists? We have one. It's called 12 Steps to 5D. Go check that out. And if you want help, then you can go here to thunderwizard.com and subscribe as an apprentice. I will work with you directly and mentor you. And everybody that I've worked with who has followed my directions to the letter has transformed hugely. So those are just some options. But wherever you go, whether you find a yoga guru or I don't care, you know, some kind of mentor, be willing to do some self-examining, because now is the time to let that stuff go. It's going to be harder and harder to hold on to that. So, interdimensional 5D meditation energy is absolutely exploding. The end of 2024 successfully shifted us towards the 3D collapse. So, in the end of the second half of 2024, things could have gone in two different ways. And as I understand it, again, my perception, I could be wrong, but my perception of the communications I received is that in our interdimensional meditations, we actually shifted 3D Earth into another timeline, as it were. Things were about to get very bad. And I've talked about it, but, you know, somebody who got a new earring hole in his ear, if that had gone south, which it was headed to do, this world would have been in a serious, a serious apocalyptic science fiction movie. It would have been really bad. And so there was enough consciousness in the world, and I believe that our meditations helped with that. There was enough consciousness in the world that we shifted towards a new timeline and successfully averted that really bad 3D Earth that we were heading towards. So the dark forces are trying to distract with false flags. That's what's going on. That's what all the craziness is that's going on in the drone scenario, which is now morphing into the social media. It's morphing into a plasmoid orb UFO mystery. But I'm here to tell you that it's the same thing. You're being presented with a false flag, and the false flag is that you are being led to believe, and again, I've said this before, and I won't stop saying it, because use it. If what you see being presented to you on the news, on social media, looks like something that came out of a Hollywood science fiction alien invasion movie, it is fiction. So it is a psyop. It is not real. You're being told, you're being hinted at. You're being hinted. See, again, what they're trying to set up is that the government says everything is fine, you have nothing to worry about, we're looking into it. And then the legacy media shows the things that are acceptable but disturbing, like lots of drones, we don't know what they're about. But then what you're seeing on social media is all of these plasmoids and these orbs and all kinds of crazy things like molten metal dripping out of an orb onto somebody's backyard, or aliens invading, or that kind of stuff. And that's trying to set up this scenario where you feel like the government is hiding the truth from you, and the truth, which is that there is an invasion happening, or China's invading, or something like that. And then you're supposed to then demand that the government tell you the truth, and the so-called whistleblowers come out and say, yes, there's this dangerous alien threat. And that is what you're supposed to believe. So don't buy into it. It doesn't mean that there isn't weird and potentially dangerous things happening in the world, but they're 100% human created. Having said that, I also think it is very possible that there might be actual increases in fact, some people have contacted me. They've followed my, and I'll give it to you right now. You want to have an experience with actual extraterrestrial light beings? I didn't make this up. I learned it from Dr. Greer, but I'll tell you exactly how to do it. Go outside, or go to the beach, or go someplace where you can see the sky, preferably away from a lot of cities, and get out your beach chair and simply do a meditation where you imagine, do some deep breathing or something, get yourself feeling relaxed. You don't have to worry about, am I in a deep enough meditative state? It doesn't matter. Just get yourself a little bit relaxed and comfortable in a positive state of mind. Then imagine that your energy is coming out of your chest and rising above you. Look down, see your body in your chair getting smaller and smaller. Again, you don't have to do it perfectly. It's just the intent. I don't do it well at all. Just the intent of imagining that. Imagine yourself going up all the way into the atmosphere and then leaving Earth's atmosphere. And then simply send out the mental invitation. Is there anybody out here who loves me, who would like to come and visit me? Now, some people need that because some people are afraid. I'm not afraid of anything out there. I'm far more afraid of the human beings running around on this planet than I am about anybody outside of our planet. But if you're afraid of that, then here's the guaranteed thing you can do which will keep you safe. You say, are there any beings out here who love me, who would like to communicate with me, who would like to connect with me? And then lead yourself down back into your body as though you're saying, here I am, as though they don't need to, but it's important part of the protocol because you're giving them direct permission. You're showing them where you are. You come back in your body and you wait around and just see what happens. People will see things in the sky. They'll see weird lights, but you'll also get a feeling. You'll feel some energy. Maybe you won't see anything up in the sky. You'll see weird lights on the ground, off in the distance. Maybe you'll take some video and you look. When you get back home, you look and you'll see this weird light sitting next to you. You'll get some kind of, maybe just a warm feeling, and maybe you'll feel just some love, some happiness. You might get some kind of fantasy starts happening in your mind about some beautiful being communicating to you, or some strange being you don't understand. But it's always love, always love. Give it a try. See what happens. All right, what were we talking about? All right, so the dark forces are trying to distract you with false flags. So your intentional focus, your shadow work, and your energy work are crucial right now. I already talked about that in the beginning, but it's very true. So if you're struggling with insecurity, anxiety, depression, it's very important that you have some kind of program of mental action, like the 12 steps to 5D. Some kind of action where you're constantly working towards moving towards a better life. This is the time, if you want to do something like go on a diet. You want to start meditating more. You've been watching this channel for years and you've been wanting to do the 12 steps to 5D, or you've been wanting to do the Maoshan 5-element spirit fighting, or you've been wanting to do the Warrior 90-day lightning Qigong, and you've just been waiting for the right time, or you've been saving up the money. Now is the time. Now is the time to be taking action that is directly contrary to the third dimensional hiding from our deepest selves. I myself I just put myself, how long it's been? It's been like 2 or 3 weeks now. I put myself on a diet where I've gotten rid of anything unnecessary. I'm basically just eating turkey sausage. That's what I'm eating, nothing else except for vitamins and maybe a banana and some fruit juice. Outside of that, I'm doing that because I'm cleaning my body out and I'm working. At the very least, what it is, it's an action that's going contrary to the third dimensional, lower vibrational. And this is the thing about discipline. It's challenging. It's not easy. It's not easy. So have a goal. My goal is. I can't even believe it. I know I've already lost weight. I went to go weigh myself and I'm 206 pounds. So either I'm just, some kind of crazy, muscle bound freak, or I still have some more fat to lose. I thought I was going to be, 199 or something. But anyway, my first goal is to get to 195 pounds. Whether I get there or not isn't important. I'm sure I can do it. But having that goal of going opposite my fear-based, lower vibrational self, that's what's important. So find something, do something, your intention. Now, in order to do that, I have to have a positive goal. I have to imagine myself, in a way that I enjoy. So I'm spending time thinking about where I want to be in 6 months, where I want to be in a year, what I want my life to look like, appreciating all of the things that I have. I complained about how cold it was, but the truth is it's a hell of a lot colder if I drive 100, miles north. It's really bad. So if it gets down to 55 or 60, I'm doing a hell of a lot better than a lot of people right now. So I can focus on that and be grateful. Anyway, you get it. Work towards that positive goal and take those actions you've been looking to take. You've been waiting for years to finally do that one thing. Now's the time to do it. Because we are shifting. And so what your intentions are right now has huge power. Unbelievable power. All right, so the timetable of massive changes will speed up. Now, this isn't a psychic prediction. This is just my common sense. This is what has been happening, but I believe it's going to continue. The level of energy that I am experiencing, both in my personal meditations and in the live guided meditations, and seeing what's happening in the world. I mean, again, let's just, the craziest thing that I could have ever imagined is going on. The Pentagon, mainstream media, and social media are talking about UFOs. And the Pentagon is trying to convince you that aliens exist. And that is just absolutely, completely absurd. And that's impossible. That's impossible. That is impossible in the world that I grew up in. That is an impossibility. And yet we're living it. So, that in and of itself shows you that, we're going into some really strange, different direction, and huge change is coming. Huge change. And I believe that the dark forces do not, in fact, I know that the dark forces have no idea the amount of energy that is being generated against that lower third dimensional frequency. And let me just, the meditations that we're doing, these live guided meditations, what we are doing, and I mentioned it here in the thumbnail. Where is the thumbnail? That star seeds are infecting the 3D matrix. So I want you to imagine, instead of a virus, imagine a cure, right? And imagine that you've got a body that's, well, this is pretty good example, a pretty good metaphor. Imagine you've got a body that's that's filled with poison. Okay? Imagine that it's infected, something like that. And then you're going to give it an antidote. Well, the antidote is going to then go in and penetrate from the inside. It's going to penetrate all of the cells in the physical body, all of the cells in all of the organs, and it's going to be a system-wide healing, a system-wide rejuvenation, a system-wide transformation. That is what is happening. Now, the dark forces, they're focused on trying to silence people who are speaking out. Listen, one of the reasons that I don't say a lot of things on this channel, number one is I don't want my channel canceled. But the other one is that that's what they're looking for. And they think they know how to shut that down. They believe they can shut down and cancel free speech. They believe that and they have been successful at this, they believe that they can continue to program your mind with media, with news, with trying to control social media. Bear in mind, they've failed horribly at what they planned on doing. If they had had it their way, what happened after 9/11 and after 2020 is that they would have had complete control over all media. That was their goal, and they believed that they were going to pull it off. And they failed miserably at that. So they're looking to do that. They want to control your mind through media and probably other ways I don't even know. They want to control your body, where you are, where you can go. And they want to control your thoughts and your feelings. What they're not able to even comprehend, because they've never been there. These people have never been beyond the third dimension. I can guarantee you that. No matter how much crazy technology that they've reverse engineered, they have never been outside of the third dimension, because it would destroy them. It would like a bug. It would be like a bug zapper. If they went outside of the third dimension, it would literally fry them and destroy them. They are so afraid of it. So what they're not expecting is what we are doing on this channel in these meditations. We're not even on their radar. Because what's happening in these meditations is we're going into the astral realm. And the astral realm is where we can literally, like an antidote goes into all of the cells of the body, the matrix of the body. You look at the body from the outside, you can't see anything. But inside, there's some kind of chemical going in, making a complete shift at the cellular level. That's what's happening in our meditations. That's what's happening with the solar events that are hitting us. And remember, there are government programs to block out the sun. Those are going on. In fact, if you look at, I don't want to start getting into things that might get me canceled. But they're trying to block out the sun. And they know that the sun has within it a consciousness that will shift everything from a cellular level. It'll be an evolutionary transformation. So, how did I get onto that? Where were we? So the timetable of massive changes will speed up. What is happening right now? The cult of celebrity, the cult of money, the cult of power, and the cult of fear is collapsing. Look at all of the Hollywood stars that are completely, totally self-destructing. In this last election, they went on. They did. Listen, I was an actor. So in my 20s, I was doing the Hollywood thing. Obviously, I didn't become a big star, and now I know at least one of the reasons why. Because it's actually part of a network, and I actually remember when I would go to auditions and I would audition, and it became clear to me when it started filtering down that maybe you should start going to these parties and maybe you should start doing this, because it's not your talent, it's who you know and who you and all of that. And so me, I didn't buy into that, and I didn't go anywhere. But this cult of celebrity is completely, totally imploding from the inside out. Robert De Niro, Julia, what's her name? I could name them all. My brain isn't coming up. I don't want to talk smack about people. You can name 5, 10 people. They're, Diddy, it's just blowing up. It's imploding. And, what is amazing is that these celebrities actually thought that they had some kind of understanding about the world that we didn't. They had some kind, Will Ferrell just went off calling everybody uneducated and stupid, and that's why they didn't share his political affiliations. And when you think about it, there's just this bubble, this echo chamber that they live in, and they are part of the elite structure, and they actually are the symbols. They're the gateways. So now I understand it. This isn't going to be true of all celebrities, but a lot of the big celebrities, they don't get there unless they become part of that club. And then once they're part of that club, they actually believe that they are having some kind of influence on society, and that they are part of the part of the royalty of the United States. If there was a royal class of the United States, the celebrity class would be the gateway towards that, and it's imploding. And this shows a complete shift in the mindset, because that wouldn't have happened 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Everything is starting to shift in a lot of ways. So we've got the cult of celebrity, the cult of money is the next one. I got hit the other day. Some of my light being friends showed up, and I started thinking about money, and I had this feeling that money itself was toxic. And then as I got higher and higher in my meditative state, the whole idea of using money at all became just ludicrous to me. And I came back down to my three-dimensional self, and of course we're still living under that, so it would be very challenging, if not impossible, for me to live by that standard. I still have to pay bills, I still have to pay my rent, all that kind of stuff. I can't go in with my spirituality and get food from the grocery store, but it was a window into where we're going. And whether it's going to be tomorrow or 5 years from now or 10 years from now, it's coming. There's going to be an awareness of, money is going to be like one of those things like, what is this? Why are we using this stupid thing? This is ridiculous. And it is ridiculous. I've been saying for a long time that money is an arbitrary concept, and it doesn't even exist. I mean, we don't even use money. I can't remember the last time I used I mean, I think I have a $20 bill in my, I mean, I could use it, but, I almost never use paper money, coin money. I almost never do that. Now people don't even use, their bank currency, which, by the way, we talk about if we go into a digital currency, we're already in a digital currency. I look at my bank statement to tell me, the ones and zeros, which means nothing. There's no exchange of anything. So it's, people now think that somehow we're going to go back to the gold standard or the silver standard, and at least it's a real thing, but it's the same thing. It's just a physical representation of an idea. It doesn't have any value in and of itself. And the truth is, everything that we do, whether it's food production or whether it's making computers or building cars or, mowing lawns or building houses or, whatever it is that we do, when you think about it, money really has nothing to do with it. It has to do with physical labor and physical things that people make. They don't allow themselves to make the things and do the things unless they have the symbolic thing in their mind of, oh, I got X amount of, quatloos, if you're old enough to remember what that is. It's actually, that's a good example how stupid money is. It's an old original Star Trek where there were these brains. They were just bodiless brains, and they were hooked up to a computer. And what they would do is they would beam people in to their world, and then they would have these physical beings fight, in like a cage match kind of thing, and then they would bet. They were brains, they couldn't do anything. They were purely mental. And then they would argue with each other. 15 quatloos on the newcomer. Oh, I'll raise that to 100 quatloos on the champion. And then you're like, what the hell is a quatloo? And there is no such thing. It's just all a mental idea. And that's really when somebody says, it cost X amount of dollars, it's just like saying quatloos. But that has to be they would have to decide. Those brains themselves would have to decide that they're going to give up this game of pretending that quatloos means something and accept that, it's just an intellectual idea. And we have to get to that point. But we are getting there. I saw it. I felt it. I've never felt anything like it. I've intellectually known that. But I was in a place where it was like, wow, the whole concept of money is toxic. So that's coming. So the cult of celebrity, money, power. Power is another one. I'll share with you what I've been saying this for a while, and I think it's truer than I can comprehend, and I think it's probably truer than you can comprehend as well. What we're doing in these meditations is true power. In fact, there's nothing that can come close to it. There is nothing on this planet in terms of power that comes anywhere near just one of these meditations. And like I was talking about earlier, what the light beings have been showing me, they've been saying, you have no idea the power that you wield. And they've been showing me that, again, the earth is a manifestation of a concept. You can think of it as a matrix. It's a matrix that is, through intention is created. And we all do it. We don't realize we do it, but we all do it. And there were beings who decided to create this matrix called Earth. What is happening is that we, even though we live in this matrix, when we do these meditations, we are going outside of it, and we are sending power to shift the matrix from the inside. And so that means the people inside of the matrix have no idea that it's happening and have no power to fight against it. So all of the fighting that's going on by the dark forces are things that they're doing within the program. Trying to cancel free speech, whatever wars they start, whatever crazy drone stuff. Those are all things that are part of the 3D video game. So it's like trying to change the video game from within the video game. You can't do it. We are doing it from outside of the video game, which means that they have no access to it. And the changes that happen, they won't even know. People's minds are shifting, and they're not even aware that the shift is happening because the program is changing. Again, this is what the Mandela effect is. There's a lot of things going on beyond our awareness that are happening on far greater levels. For all we know, yesterday the third dimensional reality could have been we didn't have ears, or we might have had horns, and then the video game changed and now that's gone. But there's some things that we still remember. Like I remember what really happened during Kennedy's assassination, and it's not what you see. I remember that the Flintstones didn't have two T's, it had one. I can guarantee you that. I can tell you that without any doubt in my mind that Tinkerbell came in at I can't remember if it was the beginning or the end, and she wrote the word Disney with her fairy wand and then, hit the eye, and you can't find that anywhere. I can tell you that both Mr. Peanut and Mr. Monopoly had a monocle. I guarantee you. I can also tell you that Mickey Mouse had suspenders. All of these things definitely were the case, and now that's gone. It's no longer part of our 3D reality because the video game is changing. And the people who are responsible for that now are us. We're doing these meditations, and just in your intentions, intending a 5D reality of peace, love, bliss, joy, equality, nonviolence. That changes, and that is more powerful than anything the dark forces can do. Doesn't mean that they're not dangerous. They are. Don't get me wrong. They're doing a lot of real serious damage, but this thing is shifting faster than they're going to be able to do anything about. So how far and fast we go into 5D is up to you. This is the biggest revelation to me. When the light beings first came to me 2.5 years ago, or actually I first reached out to them, but they started communicating with me. And it became clear to me there was going to be some kind of massive ascension event. Didn't know what. I said, when is this going to happen? And they said, when you decide. And they've said that ever since. They've never stopped saying that. So I took them up at the challenge, which is what these interdimensional meditations are all about. I said, you're telling me I got the power to do this? They even showed me that they didn't have the ability, which is what I was waiting. I was waiting for them to, use their magical powers and change. And they said, we can't do that. This isn't our world. It's yours. You have to do it. I said, oh, okay. Well, then I'll go do it. I'm so stupid. I don't know I'm not supposed to be able to do that. And I go out there and I start doing it, and they go bonkers with happiness. And they go, holy crap, you're willing to take it on? Great. We're going to give you tons of power. And they've been giving me power, that's been increasing. And if you're doing these meditations, you've been getting that same power. And they've told you whatever they've told you. And so there's no end to it. The only end to the amount of change that can come from your intentions is up to you. And if you're willing to take on the challenge, if you're willing to say to the multiverse, to the light beings, use me, give me the power. I've said that a few times, and it was a very challenging experience. But I remember once, I was getting these upgrades. I was getting these downloads of higher dimensional power, and it was very challenging to my third dimensional mind and my third dimensional ego, as you all know. And I decided that I didn't want to get in the way of limiting it, that I was willing to go through whatever ego death was going to come from it, which is a lot because it's a big deal. It sounds really cute when I say it, but the experience of it is a whole other situation. And I said in meditation once, I said, give me all the power you want me to have. And the amount of power that came into me was off the charts, frightening. Took me a while to process it, but once I did and started using it in these meditations, things started happening. So it's up to you. You can have as much power as you want if you're also willing to go through the three-dimensional death. So, here's a good example of, I'll wrap it up with this, but here's a good example of what I'm talking about. So there are 2 runes for transformation. And one of them is, let's see which one comes up first. One of them is Yuhwaj. This is the rune of unintended transformation. So this is when transformation happens to you. And this is what's happening when the Earth gets hits with these solar storms. People are going through transformations. They're flipping out and they're having all kinds of issues. And so this is Yuhwaj. This is dynamic transformation. This is shamanic transformation from death to life, and it feels like it's destroying you. It is not something you consciously initiated. And then there's another type of transformation, which is Hagalaj. Hagalaj is conscious transformation. So the difference between the two is that Yuhwaj, if you get this and you're not ready for it, it could knock you on your rear end. You might, go into a coma, or you might get sick, or you might go crazy for a while, and then you'll have a shamanic experience, maybe physically die and resurrect. That's the extreme example. And then when you resurrect, you'll be a completely different being, and you won't be part of this reality anymore, and you'll have all these spooky shamanic powers, but you didn't really intend it. It was just it hit you. That was your experience. And then there's Hagalaj. Hagalaj means healing, but it means self-initiated transformation, which brings healing. So the difference between, getting hit by lightning and then being raised from the dead, and somebody who simply goes through the conscious decision to initiate their change, and then they go through some difficulty, but it's okay. They have a little more feeling of control because they know where they want to go and they're willing it to happen. It's a healing, transformative process. That's Hagalaj. So I recommend that you choose to go the path of Hagalaj, because if not, if you put this off, whoever you are, this is coming for you, and that might not be so pleasant to experience. The end result, we'll all get there, even if some people have to go off and live out a karmic 1984 hell for a while. But you can choose to go through the self-initiating transformation. 12 Steps to 5D is a great way to do that. Working with me is a great way to do that. Working with any teacher, finding a discipline, finding a meditation teacher, a guru, whatever. Taking that initiative to be willing to look at yourself and transform. I recommend that highly. This channel is dedicated to that. Please go check out all of the resources. Again, if you like what we're doing on this channel, then of course go to thunderwizard.com and look at all the different ways you can work with me directly. There's live Zoom group classes, higher dimensional energy practices, personal mentorship. Again, I'm still having to do the 3D thing. Things are tough for everybody. I know everybody's having a challenging time. So I appreciate all the direct support. And if you'd like to do that, keep these videos coming, then please go to support.thunderwizard.com, follow the instructions, or you can just, on this video, go down and click the $ button and give a thanks, on this video. Those are all of those are welcome and very appreciative. All right, that's it, my friends. I love you all. Please be very good to yourselves, and I will see you all very soon.